A very good morning
Okay.
from London
As a
and
speaker.
good afternoon to colleagues from Asia side. The meeting is starting now, so appreciate if you can keep the other microphones off. And as shown in the screen, if you wish to speak, please use the raise hand function that you can see at your screen. You can find the icon for raising the hand as shown in the slide there. So if anytime when you wish to speak, please raise the hand and we'll keep a note on that. With that, allow me, Dr. Sabine Letterman, from the Federal Ministry of the Environment, Nature, and Nuclear Safety, Ms. Amy Gonzalez, Executive Director of PEMC, Excellencies, distinguished delegates, colleagues. It's a great privilege and honor for me to be addressing you and welcoming you to this meeting on behalf of the IMO Secretary General, Mr. Kitak Lim, and on behalf of PEMC. So welcome to this meeting. My name is Jose Mathekel. I'm the Chief of the Department of Partnerships and Projects from IMO side. And thank you very much for taking your time to join us in this first kickoff meeting of the IMO PEMC preparatory project on blue solutions. We have over 100 participants registered for this meeting and 70 has already joined. We have delegates from Cambodia, from China, from Indonesia, from Malaysia, from Philippines, from Thailand, from Vietnam, and also from Japan, Republic of Korea, and Singapore, with representation from national government agencies handling the maritime, foreign affairs, ocean, fisheries, environment, ports, representatives from the universities, representatives from the technology centers, representatives from the international financial institutions who have, and colleagues from, of course, from BMU Germany and IKI, IMO, and PEMSI, and also our international consultants team who have joined us today. So I think when I look at this, I think this is the largest project kickoff meeting I've ever seen in IMO. So thank you very much for such an overwhelming response to requests to join this meeting. And let me also begin by thanking Germany for this very timely intervention through this project support and its intentions to support the design of a large-scale project. And it is so timely. We have just finished the MEPC in IMO, where technical cooperation needs were highlighted many times to implement the GHG strategy. And we are very happy that we are beginning this process along with PEMC, with whom we are very proud to partner with to implement this preparatory phase project. So with that, I would actually request my colleague from PEMC to bring up the slide so that we can begin the presentation and show you the agenda. If I could ask June to start the slide presentation. Yes, thank you. Thank you, June. I can see it. I hope everybody can see it. So today we will be giving you more information about the preparatory phase of a very large-scale project that we wish to design in the next 3 to 4 months' time. And the title of the project is Blue Solutions, Reducing Maritime Transport Emissions in East and Southeast Asian Countries. Next slide, please. So today's agenda, I wish to share the agenda with a few welcome remarks from IMO side and from German side and PEMC side. We would then move on to give you an overview of the project with the introduction of the teams, which I almost did right now, the work packages, the timeline, and the next steps about this project preparation. And then we have some time for any comments or questions from the delegates who are here, and we will try to answer as much as possible. Of course, we will have bilateral meetings after this, and then we'll close the meeting. Next slide, please. So I am supposed to be the first speaker or giving an opening message. So let me continue. Once again, thanking all of you. Your presence here is a big vote of confidence for us that this project is and will be an impactful project once we design it very well together with you. So thank you for joining us. Thank you for interest and commitment. And as we all know, that climate change is an issue for all of us, an issue for shipping industry too, maritime sector too, an issue that we all have been trying to tackle for many years. Next slide, please. So from IMO side, if some of you are not familiar with IMO, this is the specialized agency of the United Nations that handles international maritime regulations with around 174 member states and 2 associate members. And the main aim of IMO is to developing and maintaining a comprehensive regulatory framework for shipping. And to a certain extent, we also work very closely with the ports because ports and shipping are so intrinsically connected. So the regulations are there to ensure the safety, the security, and efficient shipping on cleaner oceans. So addressing marine environmental issues, including atmospheric pollutions, is very, very central to IMO's work, and hence the reason that IMO is involved in this project and partnered with PEMC on implementation of this project. Next slide, please. So the work of IMO on climate change and emissions from maritime sector began many years back, as you all know. Adoption of the MARPOL Annex 6 was a significant step in this direction. And then, as many of you are aware, IMO also adopted this very ambitious GHG strategy in 2018. And subsequently, IMO also adopted a port resolution that encourages ports to work with the shipping to increase efforts to reduce emissions from the sector. And very recently, as recent as last week or the week before, IMO took further measures to reduce emissions from the shipping and adopted key mandatory measures to reduce the carbon intensity from shipping and to establish a ship rating system, and that just happened. So as you can see, a significant and steady progress has been made over the last many years. But as we all know, that this is a long road where we all need to travel together. We cannot afford to have any country left behind in this journey. So technical cooperation and and capacity building, etc., is very central for this journey together, and I call the voyage together. And next slide, please. In this direction, IMO has been implementing many projects, and starting with IMO's own Global Technical Cooperation Program on energy efficiency. We have established the Global Maritime Technology Cooperation Centers. One is in Asia, in China. We have the Global Industry Alliance, which in private sector participation in some of these projects. We have this Green Voyage 2050 project, which is also in many of the Asian countries are participating. We have the Glow Fouling Partnership Project, which also is connected to a certain extent the GHG emission from the hull fouling. And with Singapore, we just started the Next Gen Network Initiative very recently. And very interestingly and excitingly, we also started working with the international financial institutions, the IFI, some of which are here today, to start the FinSmart, the Finance Sustainable Maritime Transport. And of course, we will soon see a Maritime Innovation Forum. And for the region, another project of interest, the GHG Smart program for the SITs and LDCs, which will begin rolling out by end of this year. So these have been some of these programs, but adding to the list, now we have the East Asian focused blue solutions that we all are excited about. And this project will be an opportunity for the countries to connect to all other programs that we mentioned there. So with that summary, what IMO is doing, now let me hand it over to PEMC, our Executive Director of PEMC. Sorry, I think it's Sabine, or is it PEMC?
Sabine
It's
first.
Sabine. Sorry, yeah, I missed the order. I'll pass it on to Dr. Sabine Letterman from Germany, from the government of Germany, who are with us here today to send a message from her side. Dr. Sabine, please.
Thank you, Jose. Thank you very much. I hope you can hear me.
Yes.
Good. Very good. Good morning and good afternoon to you all, distinguished colleagues. It's my very great pleasure to be here with you today and to welcome you on behalf of the German government. My name is Sabine Lattemann, and I work for the German Ministry for the Environment, Nature Conservation and Nuclear Safety. This preparatory project ahead of us, I think, is a very important first step towards what will hopefully become soon a full-sized project proposal. And the full-size project should contribute to reduce maritime-related transport emissions by identifying the best solutions for ships, ports, and hinterland connections in the participating countries. So by demonstrating the feasibility of low and zero carbon technologies, we hope that we can take a major step forwards in our joint journey to climate neutrality in maritime transport, as agreed in the initial strategy decided by the IMO in 2018. Around the world, public and private stakeholders alike are embarking on the same journey with us. So they were set on this pathway both by the adoption of the Paris Agreement in 2015, as well as the initial strategy on greenhouse gas reduction of the IMO in 2018. And both of these agreements are very clear in their goal, and that is to reduce GHG emissions in line with the temperature goals of the Paris Agreement. Germany is strongly committed to both agreements, and we are also very committed to limit global warming to 1.5 degrees Celsius. Just last week, the German government passed or revised the new national climate law, and this requires Germany to reach climate neutrality in 2045 already, and it also sets very ambitious reduction targets in the coming decades. So while we are taking on this responsibility and the ambitious task to become climate neutral as a country, we acknowledge that the road ahead of us is not easy. And in order to travel it together, we also acknowledge that we cannot reach the goal of climate neutrality alone, but that all countries and all sectors need to contribute. At the MEPC meeting, which has been mentioned before and which took place this June, Germany, my distinguished colleagues from the Transport Ministry, they emphasized that Germany remains very committed and ready to work in the spirit of cooperation, and that we continue to strive for ramping up climate action in maritime shipping in the future. This project, including the preparatory project on blue solutions ahead of us, is part of our commitment to work together, also through technical cooperation and development. The funding for this project is provided by the German International Climate Initiative, the ICI. And the ICI operates within the framework of the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, the UNFCCC, as well as the Convention on Biological Diversity, the CBD. So far, more than 750 climate and biodiversity projects with a total funding volume of over 4.5 billion euros in more than 60 countries have been jointly initiated with our partner countries. Shipping so far has only been a minor part of this program, of the ICI program, of the funding portfolio, with 3 major projects and a total of 45 million euros on the way. The first project we initiated with the Republic of the Marshall Islands in 2016, and this project focuses on reducing RMI's maritime transport emissions as part of their nationally determined contribution under the Paris Agreement. So what we do there mainly is boat building for intra-lagoon transport and also developing and commissioning a low-carbon vessel for deep-sea shipping between the islands. This second project, which is the Blue Solutions project ahead of us, in this project we will hopefully identify also the best opportunities for pilot demonstration projects that will advocate for the potential of low and zero carbon shipping, ports and hinterland transport in your respective countries. And thirdly, there's also a new project underway which will mainly focus on a switch to sustainable zero emission fuels. We think that these synthetic e-fuels like green hydrogen, ammonia or methanol, which are produced from renewable electricity, will be the future key to fully decarbonize maritime shipping in line with the 1.5 temperature goal. However, as these sustainable e-fuels will still be very limited in supply and also much more costly in the coming years, we think it's paramount to further improve the energy efficiency of maritime shipping as a first step. So energy efficiency is a strong pillar of all our cooperation projects. Because the improvement of energy efficiency and the transitioning to future fuels are essentially 2 sides of the same coin that we need to invest to become climate neutral. So climate neutrality cannot be achieved with efficiency alone. And the more efficient ships become, the less costly and disruptive the transition process to future fuels will be. Around the world, we see many initiatives that embark on development and demonstration projects, both on efficiency and fuels, but the transition will not be driven by voluntary action alone. We need a strong regulatory framework which provides a clear signal and pathway to shipping companies, fuel producers and manufacturers alike. The private sector is already in the starting blocks, but we as governments have to provide the right incentives, both through a global framework as well as technical cooperation that will get us to the finish line. I do have faith, strong faith, that together we can win the race towards greenhouse gas neutrality on a pathway consistent with the temperature goals of the Paris Agreement. With this in mind, I wish you all a fruitful first meeting and a successful preparatory project on Blue Solutions. Thank you very much for taking the time to be here today. It's my great pleasure to join this first kickoff meeting, and yeah, all the best for today's first meeting. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Letterman, for your message and for your support and looking into the vision for the future. Very inspiring. And with that, let me now pass it on to my colleague, Ms. Amy Gonzalez, who is Executive Director of PEMSI, who is an implementing partner in this project. Over to you, Amy.
Yeah, thank you, Joss. Thank you, Dr. Sabine Letterman. Good afternoon. Good morning, everyone. I am pleased to represent Partnerships in Environmental Management for the Seas of East Asia as an implementing partner in developing this full project proposal on Blue Solutions. I was asked to introduce PEMSI since half of the room may not be familiar with with this cooperative organization. So I'll do a little bit of introduction. So PEMC is a regional cooperation mechanism whose mission is to foster and sustain healthy and resilient coast, ocean communities and economies across the seas of East Asia through integrated management solutions and partnerships. It was created by 11 country partners way back in the early 90s after UNCED, and participated in by around 20 non-country partners from the academia, business, industry, trade associations, NGOs, international development organizations, and others. We also have some countries, while not formal country partners, have been our long-time maritime collaborators, and you can see some of them there. And PEMC has also enjoyed funding support from the UNDP and the Global Environment Facility. And in its process of becoming a self-sustaining entity, we welcome other supporters. And so we're happy to have IKI with us as well. Next slide, please. So PEMC operates in 3 levels. At the local level, in particular, we assist local governments develop and implement plans and policies that addresses the complex threats and cumulative impacts on our coast and shared ocean, like marine pollution, climate change, disaster risk reduction. Most importantly, we have a network of learning centers working closely with the local and national governments to help build capacity, train, and help our ocean frontliners at the local government level to adapt solutions that are appropriate to their local circumstances. And I would like to emphasize that because this is a technical assistance project, and we have to make sure that it is fit for purpose for the people that we actually want to operationalize this with. This is particularly important given that this is a new topic, intermodal transport approach, for the ASEAN members, which is half the members of PEMC. Next slide, please. At the regional level, we execute a shared strategy called the Sustainable Development Strategy for the Seas of East Asia, which is currently under review to take into account new realities brought about by the global pandemic and emerging trends, and agreed measures also in the UN Decade of Ocean Science, the post-2020 Biodiversity Conservation Framework, of course, Paris Agreement, and others. In the maritime sector, this will include a review and examination of options to help reduce marine pollution and combat climate change through managing biofouling. Joss mentioned about the Glow Fouling Partnerships Project. We are actually the regional cooperation organization in East Asia as well. And the pursuit of energy efficiency in intermodal transport approaches within the Blue Solutions Project. Next slide, please. This is my last slide. Finally, with the Republic of Cambodia as host, we are preparing for the East Asian Seas Congress on December 1 to 2, 2021. The theme is Charting New Decade of Healthy Oceans, People and Economies, and it aims to share lessons, track the progress made, and scale up on good practices of our shared strategy, build on and recalibrate existing management interventions, and for this purpose of the project, foster new opportunities for regional partnerships that will include innovative approaches, technologies, investments, and financing towards the sustainable development of the coastal and marine environment. It is also a chance to set up a clear roadmap on transformative blue solutions in the next decade. This is at the beginning of December, and why I raise this is because we should already have some draft, a decent draft or a final draft of the full project proposal that we could share to our senior level officers, ministers for endorsement and approval. By way of a heads up to the governments here, representatives, it would be great if you could actually organize a regional meeting to mark that milestone around the East Asian Seas Congress. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Amy, for your message, and certainly also mention of the East Asian Seas Congress toward the end of the year, and the message that hopefully we will have the final document by then for the countries to endorse. So I will now pass it on to, now we are moving on to give you all what you have been probably looking for, what this project is all about. and what this preparation phase is going to be like for the next few months. So for that, let me invite Ms. Nadine Bresman, who is the head of the Maritime Transport of PEMSI, who is also a driving force behind this project from PEMSI side. I hope the technology works for Nadine. So Nadine, over to you to take us through the project. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Jose, and good morning to London and Germany, and good afternoon here in Asia. I'm Nadine. I'm not in the PEMSI office. I'm presenting from my studio room in Quezon City. In the next 15 minutes, I will try to give you an idea of the project, the focus of our activities, and how we can work together in the next months. I'm very pleased that ICI is supporting our project idea. Many thanks to Sabine. Our Blue Solution project is a homemade regional project. You might know the RTN, the Regional Port Training Network, from presentations in APA, or maybe also at the MTWG, at the Maritime Transport Working Group. I'm happy that the two former regional secretariats, Bahab from Northport Malaysia and March from Philippines, are here. And that's how also Sabah Port, the Port Authority of Thailand, Vietnam, Cambodia are attending. It was the members of the RTN who came up with the idea of developing activities to reduce emission from maritime transport. And if you know ports, they are big and heavy and they can be dirty. And there are a lot of ports around the region that are major sources of pollutants. They burn oil and diesel and operate under some pre-alarming conditions. Together with Adrian, our former PEMSI chief, and IMO, we worked on the idea making our ports something we can be proud of. And it is amazing how the IMO team develops concepts. So Jose has a highly professional team of experts with a great deal of creativity, and they have this ambition to really want to change something. June, maybe we can go to the first slide, please. From the beginning, we have concentrated on the question of how to decarbonize the maritime transport sector. And especially here in Manila, we see that maritime transport is more than just ships. We have 24 hours port activities and several thousand heavy load trucks daily in and out of the port of Manila. So maritime transport, including ships, ports, and trucks, is a significant source of greenhouse gases. So when we talk about reducing emission, we have to look at the entire supply chain from producer to consumer and think about operational energy efficiency, low carbon infrastructure, low or zero carbon fuels. And we have to evaluate what policies, optimized logistics, access to fuel, or even technology solutions can do to further decarbonize the transport. June, maybe we go to the work package already. We have identified 4 main fields of action or work packages that we would like to further detail with you during the preparatory phase. We want to evaluate the current greenhouse gas status. We need to know where are the biggest emission sources in the country to develop future scenarios. And from this level, we will jump into the joint strategy, action, or roadmap planning. June, maybe we go one slide and have a look already there. The core of the project are the demonstration pilots. We will implement pilots for ships, ports, and hinterland transport and develop business cases in the context of emission reduction. We see here already some inspirations. We will certainly talk about the impact of speed optimization, hull treatment, solar panel, shore-based power supply, smart ports and smart communication, model shift from road to water. We will discuss technology innovations and also look at the future of fuels. We will involve the private sector, networks, development banks, and knowledge partner countries to design, evaluate, and select regional blue solutions. Now we go back again. If you see the last square here, all measures are supported by capacity development and the creation of knowledge. This means, for example, that if we plan to determine greenhouse gas emission at the port, we will train the trainers who will then teach the staff at the port. We will also initiate capacity building on energy efficiency, regulations, or green logistics. I was lucky to attend an MTWG meeting where different countries presented their green port activities. And I remember that Thailand and Indonesia had exciting activities implemented. We want to incorporate also these experiences, and we want to make costs and necessary investments transparent and how much emission reduction can be expected from each activity. June, maybe to the next slide, please. I think our aim is summarized on this slide in a nutshell. So we can say partnering countries using emission baseline information and targets to develop strategies, action plans, and specific projects to transition the maritime transport sector toward a low carbon future. And this should, of course, go hand in hand with national priorities and regional and international commitments. Let's go to the next slide, please. Here we see our countries. China, Indonesia, Malaysia, Philippines, Thailand, and Vietnam have announced interest in the project. We consider these countries as our focus countries. We have asked Cambodia if they can help us with the GHG emission investigation and participate in the regional meetings. We have had initial talks with Japan, Korea, and Singapore to support us in regional discussions and to define decarbonization instruments with us and share knowledge. If ICI is satisfied with our fully developed project document, we can expect a funding of 15 million euro over a period of 5 years. Implementing partners are IMO and PEMC. June, can we go to the project timeline? Next slide, please. Yes, thank you. If the project starts in 2022, we will start the emission studies and greenhouse gas data collection. And to have the opportunity to evaluate the selected pilot demonstration and discuss them in the region, we will start the preparation and implementation of our pilots early. So work package 1 and 2 build on each other. So after we have developed the future scenarios, we will work on the strategies. And as already mentioned, we will develop supporting training for all important steps and ensure the exchange of knowledge through our networks and platforms. This is also a precondition to achieve the scaling up and replication of our blue solutions at the end of our project. Okay, but how does the next 6 months look like? And June, this we see on the next slide, please. Thank you. It will be demanding undertaking to design the project together. We want to start with the country workshops as soon as possible to learn more about your national activities and priorities. For this, we are still missing the contact person in the countries and the national consultants. Nevertheless, I would be very happy if we could set a date in the next few days. We will use the months of September and October to identify suitable port sites for our pilots. We will meet with industry, partner networks, and development banks to define the blue solutions. And we need to know which emission data are already available in the environmental ministries and which are missing. In November, we will try to combine the national drafts into a regional project, and we would be very happy if we can then capture the commitments from the countries at the EAS Congress in December, described by Amy. Okay, next slide, please. We are not alone. We will have a lot of support. Part of the team is already on board. Sabi is responsible for the IMO Maritime area. Marco takes care of the emissions. Jürgen is working with the country teams on the blue solutions. I'm happy that we could win Adrian to take over the project preparation. You will meet Thomas in the national workshops. Georgie has taken over the IMO project management, and I'm taking care of the coordination. Next slide, please. I sincerely hope that our planned activities will create an important and tremendous benefit for you in the countries. I think there will be a lot of collaboration between countries in the region. There will be increased human and institutional capacity, so our activities. You will have developed maritime emission baselines and decarbonization roadmaps. You will have identified potential energy efficiency and greenhouse gas reduction measures. You will be experienced in pilot implementation of the chosen scalable solutions. And we also have a catalytic impact on further investments in national decarbonization actions in the countries. Next slide, please, June. And we need your support in the coming months to shape the project. We need an official point of contact in each country. Here in the Philippines, and the ministry, the Department of Transport, has already considered providing a national high-level focal point, since the project design involves at least Port Authority, Marina, and land transport. We also need your help with the identification of a national project coordinator. We currently have 6 jobs posted for national project consultant at PEMSI Korea. These consultants work closely with the national focal point and should be technically oriented. June, maybe jump one slide in front already. Yes, thank you. The consultant will draft the national pilot demonstration proposal, describe the current gaps, and supporting regional and national meetings. We would like to make the selection of candidates already next week. It would be crucial for us to have a national stakeholder or technical team that works closely with the national consultant and the focal point. Several months ago, I presented to the Philippine MEPC, the Marine Environmental Protection Committee. And that is a group of environmental and maritime authorities, but also the private sector, the ship owners and the shipbuilders were there. Such a group in each country would be perfect for identifying appropriate blue solutions and defining country needs for the project. At this point, please let me say that I have worked with a number of very competent and committed women here in the region, also in leadership positions. I would be very happy to have applicants from female consultants or even women among the national focal points or the stakeholder or technical working group. We go back one slide again, June, the last 2 or 3 points. Additionally, we also kindly ask you to provide us with emission data and information and possible co-financing options for pilot projects. We think it's essential that you participate in the final vetting of the project document and that you provide the national letters of commitments to the project and the endorsement of participation in the implementation. June, we jump now directly to the last slide, to the partnerships. Thank you. Cooperation with our network partners, organizations and banks will be critical to the success of the project, especially when we start working on the project next year. I'm also very pleased that so many partners are here today. We have already talked about the integration of the MTCC Asia. We will work with our regional port training network and the PEMSI network of learning centers. We will certainly also ask industry networks such as Clean Cargo to contribute their views to the project. IMO brought already the important development banks together at the FinSmart Roundtable. IMO's Women in Maritime will join us. And of course, we need regional and institutions such as APA and the MTWG and many other valuable ideas and decision makers. It will be colorful, it will be innovative, and I'm sure we will move a lot of things. I'm very much looking forward to the cooperation with you and thank all those who have supported us with their ideas so far. Many thanks to Sabine from the BMU for this great opportunity, and thanks to Jos and his team. If we achieve a decarbonization of maritime transport, it will be with the motivation and energy of the IMO team. I think Jos will now take over again and add 1 or 2 things that are important to him. Many thanks. I look forward to your reactions and questions. Bye.
Thank you very much, Nadine, for taking us through an exciting project. And I do hope the storyline that we presented to you is exciting enough. Looking at the audience here, many of whom I am personally familiar with, you are all champions in your own countries and you are all champions in advocating measures and also actively participating in the international debate on climate change. So your presence, it was very important. I hope you got the in very good summary about the project. So basically establish the baseline, what is happening right now, and then with that baseline, you would decide what your roadmap is going to be. And assuming there will be some technology solutions needed, then this project is an opportunity to demonstrate some of the potential solutions for you. But we don't want this project to be designed by IMO or PEMC. We want this project to be designed by you. And we are helping here just for the consultation with you so that you can make those crucial decisions, what should be in this project with that, overall framework that we just mentioned. So it requires a lot of your contributions and your championing, your input, your information for us to design a good project that will make a difference for you in your country. So it is going to be very much a bottom-up approach for this project design. From your involvement, we have some good consultants to help us. We have a coordinating team from IMO and PEMC to help with this design process. So we look forward to your contribution and your support to make a very good project design that will allow us to mobilize resources from the donor, which is Germany, who has kindly agreed to look into this support, provided we have a meaningful project design and your commitment to the deliverables of the project. So, it's very important that we design it together and, and your commitment to the deliverables at the end of it. So, I'm extremely happy this is happening after our GHG strategy discussions in IMO and adoption of the short-term measures in which technology solutions are going to be important as well. And ports in Asia, as you know, is so crucial to the maritime community, the maritime world, the international trade, because Asian ports play a big role. So energy efficiency in the ports and the connected two sides, the shipping and the inland transport, will make this a very meaningful and impactful project, and where the ports will play an important role. So thank you very much for your attention, and this is the time now for you to raise your hands, provide any comments that you may have, initial feedback that that came to your mind about this project, and also any questions within the time frame that we can try to answer. I can already see the hands raised by Thailand, Malaysia, Indonesia, and I'll take them in that order. Thailand, please, from Wachara, my good friend, Thailand.
Hello, George. Good morning. Can you hear me well?
Yes, we can.
Okay. Good morning to everyone from London, and greeting to you all. Very good to see you again. May I, on behalf of the delegation of Thailand, firstly express our gratitude to the government of Germany, PEMC, and the IMO in particular. Just to you and your team behind the scene for organizing this event and initiating the project. I think the project is embarking on a very crucial step and to prepare us suitable and efficient tasks in order to achieve the expected outcome of this very important project. Thailand looks forward to further discussion at the bilateral meeting on this project preparation. Last but not least, George, once again, we would like to thank the government of Germany for supporting this significant technical cooperation project for the region. And we believe that this project will enhance the capacity to achieve our common goals for the greener planet. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Wachara from Thailand, and thank you very much for your comments. We have had such a good, working partnership with Thailand in many of the projects as well, and we look forward to taking this discussion further with you all. Thank you very much. Next is Malaysia. I think it's Mr. Kanagalingam. Again, my friend here in London. Kana, over to you, please.
Thank you very much, Dr. Jose, and Malaysia would like to express its highest gratitude to the IMO Secretary General, PEMC team, and also the government of Germany for mooting and building on this project. It is a natural extension of the GHG strategy, driving necessary framework changes to the ports and shipping in the region. And I think that's a very vital move to ensure that we deliver on the ambition strategies, which has been agreed upon by all member states. It's generally a robust framework, and the regional dynamics here, looking at all our strategic partners here, will mean that we'll be able to achieve much more better results, and with the hope that we can engage bilaterally more extensively. Thank you very much, Jose.
Thank you very much, Kana. Again, Malaysia is already a partner in some of our projects, including the Green Voyage. So we really hope to see the synergy between these projects. And thank you for being here, Kana. Next is to Indonesia. Pak Lalan, please.
Yeah, good morning, Mr. Jose from
Good morning.
London, and good afternoon, everybody. We thank you for the IMO, for the PEMC and the government for German for all the support. And also we thank you for the initiative and the intention of the projects. I think so many representative related institution from Indonesia is already joining this meeting, from Ministry of Environmental, Ministry of Transport, Ministry of Foreign Affairs, as well as Embassy from London. So thank you for the introduction, important information from this meeting. Indonesia is very interested to discuss further details of this project, of course, and looking forward for the further bilateral and discussions. Thank you, Mr. Jose. Thank you all.
Thank you very much, Pak Lalan, and we look forward to our bilateral discussion with Indonesia on this very important project. Thank you very much. Next is Cambodia, please.
Thank you very much, Dr. Jose, and thank you very much for conducting this meeting. And I would like to also express a sincerely thank to this government of Germany, to IMO and to PEMC to run obviously the program and to conduct what is a very interesting project. So allow me to express and share some view with you on this project. On behalf of the Ministry of Environment of Cambodia and PEMC Focal Point, I would like to express our full support to the IKI's IMO PEMC Blue Solution Project preparation phase. We support the development of the full proposal, particularly on the need to develop baseline study and build more capacity on the issue and challenge of this reducing the greenhouse gases and the other emission in the maritime transport sector in the country. Cambodia has about 440 kilometers of the coastline, which is fully covered by the Integrated Coastal Management Plan. As of the 2015 statistics, our ocean economy comprised 16% of the our GDP and employ 3.2 million people. Shipping and port constituted 51% of the ocean economy value, followed by the fishery and aquaculture and the coastal tourism. Sihanoukville Autonomous Port is the main public deep sea port and has earned a total revenue about $70 million in 2016 and facilitating the trade of the goods and services within Cambodia and the neighboring country. Technical assistance from the Blue Solution Project to help develop sound of the improvement environment policy and energy efficiency will reduce the pressure faced by our port and ship. It will also help us align with the global goal and mitigating the impact of the climate change and the marine pollution as called by the Paris Agreement. UN SDG, as well as the shared regional strategy of the Sustainable Development Strategy for the Sea of East Asia. I would look forward to working with this project team at the country consultation and the future action, including at the CES Congress 2021, as what is the Madam Amy PEMC PEMC director, executive director already expressed, so that Cambodia was going to conduct and host of the year Congress at this year on the 1st and 2nd of December. So I would like to call for support from all of the participants, including what the organizer, IMO, the government of Germany, and also the other was the partner, to support the ES Congress to make sure that we can run success in a manner. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Long, and thank you for the comments and the support that was offered from Cambodia. It was very good to see many colleagues from Cambodia, including, I think, the Director General, Mark Sidat from the Ministry of Transport he is here as well. So it's very good to see such a wide representative from Cambodia. Thank you. Now we have Vietnam. I think it's May An from Vina Marine. Over to you, May An.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Joe. So Vietnam is very appreciative of the efforts by IMO and PEMC, and thank you for organizing this very useful meeting. We also thank government of Germany for its intention to support this very timely project. We are very interested to discuss more details of this project during the bilateral discussion, and we look forward to the country workshop. Thank you again.
Thank you very much, Vietnam and Ms. Mayan, for that, and we look forward to discussing with Vietnam as we always did in the past in designing such a project. So thank you very much. We have next in line Philippines. Philippines, over to Philippines, please.
Yes, thank you, Jos, for this opportunity to have the Philippines also express its gratitude to IAI and of course to PEMC and IMO for having this kind of project. So at last we have a kickoff or launching of this project, which I think we were also engaged in, in working on preliminary preparations. So we are also very glad to see the transformation of the maritime transport sector to take a low carbon pathway. The department, or in particular the Department of Environment and Natural Resources, has been engaged in meetings or in negotiations under the UNFCCC, and we have observed that although the maritime transport would have a significant emission, but still the discussion about the maritime shipping emissions would have a very, it's not being attended to seriously. One observation that we had is that there is a lack of reliable data on the emissions, and also the methods being available for assigning responsibility for those emissions to the different countries and its stakeholders. So through this project, I guess that there will be a focus now on the assessment of the emission and energy efficiency baselines, which is very important in coming up with mitigation measures which could contribute to the long-term goal of the Paris Agreement. So we are so grateful that there are benefits that would be very supported to our national commitments. Like, for example, under the nationally determined contributions, we would like to have in order to support this, we would like to have an increased human and institutional capacities of the national stakeholders by engaging them in project activities and even in pilot project implementation. And also the development of emissions baselines, which I have already mentioned, which is very important, and also the framing of or the formulation of decarbonization roadmaps, and also the identification of potential energy efficiency and greenhouse gas reduction measures. So during this preparatory stage within the year, once again, we would like to express our support in coming up with a full-fledged project document that will identify key national components. And of course, we hope that the project, this project on reducing maritime transport emissions will support the regional and international commitments of countries in order to address the maritime-related energy efficiency and greenhouse gas reduction targets, which would move us to sustainable and clean port sectors. That's all, Joe. Thank you so much for this opportunity. Good afternoon.
Thank you very much, Albert, for your comments. Very happy to see DNR here, who could significantly help us in getting the information. And also good to see many colleagues from MOT and also from Marina from Philippines. PEMC being situated in Philippines makes our job a bit more easier in terms of consultation with the Philippines. So we look forward to that dialogue very soon. Having said that, as we mentioned, the project, the emission scenarios is the first step only of this project. The main focus of the project is going to be looking into what solutions that we can demonstrate to improve the baseline and to support the country's roadmap. So a lot of focus is going to be on the design of the pilot project itself, or demonstration project, in the next few months. Every country will have a different direction, different interest, or different strategy, and maybe some specific interest on a pilot demonstration, what you wish to see in your port. So this design is going to be extremely also crucial during the preparation phase. So thank you very much for that comment from Philippines. I would now like to hand over to Professor Wei Ruan, the head of the MTCC Asia, with whom we think will have a very good relationship through this project as well. Over to you, Prof. Wei Ruan.
Good morning, and Jules and all the distinguished participants. I see Nati and Georgia, etc., some familiar faces as well. Thank you. It's my great honor to speak on behalf of MTCC Asia at this moment to congratulate the kick-off of the very important project. We believe that with this new project, IMO uses more systematic pipelines to push forward the GHG reduction for the industry. So we are very much thankful, Jules, and all the participating countries to make great contributions to this very important mission. By this opportunity, I also would like to thank the great and also very useful support from the Asian maritime countries like Cambodia, Malaysia, Thailand, etc., during the implementation of the MTCC mission. Thank you very much. So we will be very much honored and very much pleased as well to provide cooperations and assistance for this project, the Blue Solutions, because over the years, since 2017, I mean, the establishment of MTCC Asia and also GMN, we did accumulate, if I can say so, some good experience and also we have also some resources, in this area, in this maritime industry. So we can be a partner in the respect of experience sharing and the coordination of resources, not only in Asia, existing Asian maritime countries, but also, as Juice and also IMO knows that Dr. Juice created, with his team, the GMN, which means five MTCCs across the world. So, which means we can be a bridge, to share experience and resources with you. And so also MTCC is pleased to cooperate with the project, to be involved in this project by providing, for instance, the general descriptions on the trends of IMO conventions and also the industrial practices, in the world shipping industry for GHG reduction. But also over the years, we realized quite clearly, also like Dr. Juice mentioned, that there is a need to tailor-made and also to adapt technologies, but also the legislations, specific legislations for GHG in some countries. So we would like to cooperate with the partners in this program, for such kind of a task. And lastly, I would also invite by this opportunity to the distinguished participants to work together, to cooperate for this project. And in MTCC Asia, we are going to host a conference and also exhibition event on 11th July. So it is a good opportunity to say some technological involvement. So you are all invited, if I can, to join this conference. Dr. Juice will speak, at this event as well. So we invited more than 20 technological providers, and we put them not only physically in the exhibition place, but also we put them online, which means that we do virtual exhibition. So this is a way I believe is a way how to cooperate and for MTCC Asia to with the Blue Solution project. But we can see, of course, more and more for instance, we can also do a postgraduate study program, and we can do it together with the Blue Solutions. So that's all. I think once again, great congratulations to all of you, in particular Juice, and it is very, from my point of view, very important and useful effort for the implementation of the initial stage strategy. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Professor Veerwan. MTCC Asia has already acquired a lot of knowledge, a lot of experience on technology-related work in the region. You already have established sub-centers in the region as well. So we really look forward to establishing a connection with MTCC Asia, which is now based in Shanghai Maritime University in China. And over this next few months, we will be discussing how this connection can be realized. So we look forward to your continued support. Thank you, Professor Veerwan. That actually finishes all the initial comments. So I was just wondering if any delegate has any specific question or clarification that you may need at this point in time. And please raise your hand if there are any questions that that you may need to answer. We may need to answer. Obviously, it is a very short presentation of the project. Certainly, there will be a lot of opportunities during our bilateral discussions. But if you have any burning questions right now, please do not hesitate to raise your hands. While you are thinking about any questions there, I was just wondering, Georgi from IMO side, would you like to say anything, because you are the head of the project from IMO side, so and you will be interacting with the countries. Georgi, over to you.
Thank you. Good afternoon again to all, and good morning to Germany. Just to say that we are very excited working all with you, so please be aware that we will be reaching out in the upcoming days and upcoming weeks. We have a relatively limited time. We would hope that by the end of the year, we will be able to develop a full-fledged project that will help afterwards support you to implement the IMO initial GHG strategy in line with your specific needs. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Yogi. I don't see any questions right now. I'm sure people may have, and they may be keeping it for the bilateral discussions. From my side, before I hand over to give the concluding remarks to Amy, allow me to focus on a couple of things for attention. First and foremost, please start thinking about the national focal point that the countries wishes to nominate, and we need this very soon so we can have an official channel of communication with the countries. So we look forward to your nomination of this focal point. Please consider that this project will involve ports, the ships, and the hinterland transport. So somebody who has the access to all these sectors and who can coordinate. Now, please do not worry about too much about the times that is needed, because we are going to hire through PEMC a national project coordinator as a consultant who will support the focal point in organizing the day-to-day meetings and information collection, etc., in the country. So the national focal point is for us to establish an official communication, but who will be supported with the national project consultant or coordinator whom we will be recruiting through the project and made available to the national focal point. So that help is already being planned. And as Nadine said, this consultants will be hopefully in place very soon. We also would encourage you to start thinking about the bilateral workshops, the meetings, the consultations that is very much needed in the very near future. So please make time available for such a consultation meeting, because that is the most crucial thing, because we need the design to be based on your inputs and your discussions and information that you provide. Otherwise, the project may not suit your needs. So please think about this and encourage and support us in these bilateral discussions, and also start thinking about who would be your key stakeholders that you want to invite to this bilateral discussions as a national team. Definitely we need people from the port, from the shipping, and people also who from the environment, and also the hinterland transport side, maybe industry, etc., etc. So please think about the key stakeholders, not a too big a team, but somebody who is very, very, important in the design and the national design, especially to design the pilot project, because that's going to be probably taking most part of the resource of this project. Which pilot project that you want to demonstrate in your country, and people who can help you in design the pilot phase should be your important stakeholders. So certainly you will hear more from PEMC on this very soon, and we count on your support to design a very good project that suits your needs and your interests and your strategy, how to reduce the GHG emissions from the maritime sector. With that, from my side, I would like to thank you, and really good to see, and we are very inspired to see such a large participation, and especially from all the sectors and very high levels, because we know that you are the champions. You have the power to make changes in the sector that you operate in. So with that, allow me to pass on to Ms. Amy Gonzalez, Executive Director of PEMC, to say the concluding remarks for this workshop, for this meeting. Over to you, Amy.
Thanks, Joss. Really, on behalf of the project team of IMO and PEMC, I would like to thank all the participants and our project preparation team, our national development partner, IKI, for the successful kickoff. I also would like to thank Joss for the ably moderating this online workshop, and Nadine for the concise presentation of the project. I mean, we are heartened to see the interagency representation already for this kickoff workshop. We hope that this will be replicated in the national and bilateral consultations that will take place in the coming months, days and months. No? We will be in touch, as Joe said, bilaterally through your identified contact points and through the national preparation coordinators to ensure that you are all informed on the substance and process for the full project development along the way. We are also heartened with the expressions of interest expressed by many of the countries, and we hope to follow that up during the national and bilateral consultation. As you can see, this is just the beginning of an exciting project preparation phase. And so the end goal will be to have a full project developed at the end of the year, which with your support, we would like your ministers or heads of the heads of high levels of representation in your government to successfully endorse this project to IKI at the East Asian Seas Congress in Cambodia in December. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Amy, for the concluding remarks. And the last thing for me to thank is actually Germany, government of Germany, and Dr. Nadine, who is here, and for your working with us over the last years, leading to this point where we are able to start the project preparations phase. So thank you to Germany, and thank you to everybody who is here. And wish you all a very productive day. I know the IMO Council meeting is about to start in an hour, and I can still see a lot of the important Council meeting members here. So I really thank you. Despite the Council ahead of you, you managed to find some time to join this meeting. So really, really thank you for that. And once again, thank you from IMO, thank you from PEMC. And thanks to everybody who are here. We look forward to seeing you very soon, and have a fantastic day ahead. And let me close the meeting with a remark. So thank you all.
Thanks, Joss. Thank you, everyone. Terima kasih.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye
you.
bye, everyone.
Thank you.
Maraming salamat.
Maraming salamat.
Bye, Baham.
Bye bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mark.
Congrats, Nadine.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.